Alright, good evening everybody. We are ready to start gameplay video number 25 of Horizon Zero Dawn, the complete playthrough. I'm sorry, I was started looking at an email right as soon as I started talking here. This video is going to probably maybe be broken up into a couple different ones. We are ready to start the final playthrough, the final mission. The final mission does take a while. I have not played the Frozen Wilds yet. I mean, I have played it. I've beaten the Frozen Wilds, but in terms of this video series, I have not done the Frozen Wilds yet. We will do that afterwards. The Frozen Wilds actually, you don't beat the game then go to the Frozen Wilds. If you beat the game and then you want to continue on the Frozen Wilds, the save game, the load actually comes up right where you leave off, right before the ending mission. So basically where we are right now. But I wanted to get the continuous from start to finish of the story without taking a break and going into the Frozen Wilds, because that's about another 15 to 20 hours worth of gaming, and while I like the story there, it's not as engaging as the main storyline is. So we are going to pick it up here and go ahead and get right into it. So I have leveled Aloy up as almost as far as she can go. I think I have a couple. Well, no, I haven't. I think you can go to 70. I think it's right at 59, or maybe it's 60. Definitely far enough, though. Don't have any more skills that I truly need. We're ready to go. The one thing I really, I guess, miss about playing this for the first time, this is one of those games where it was so enjoyable to play through the very first time. You know, Aloy is such a curious character. I mean, her personality she has a lot of curiosity to her, and just, you know, as you're discovering the world, which is foreign to us, obviously a post-apocalyptic world 1,000 years in the future, where humanity has returned to its hunter-gatherer roots. You know, this is not something that 21st century. Like 21st century Americans or 21st century anybody that lives in the world, not just Americans. Anyone who lives in the 21st century, it's not something that we're used to seeing, and so this is all a brand new experience for us too. And so the natural wonder and curiosity for us as players of this video game is what happened. So the story itself is like, what happened to the world? What happened to the Earth? Why did all these people? Why did they vanish? What happened to them? And that's one of the things that was very, very, exciting for me when I went through it for the very first time, because you're seeing the story through Aloy's eyes, and you want to know exactly what's happening to the people, exactly, you find out exactly the same time as she does.
Just because he failed to kill the Sun King doesn't mean he's any less guilty. He should pay.
So, we are here in Meridian, getting ready to talk to Sun King Avad. I am going to pause for just 1 second here. I have to do one thing real quick here at home before I jump into this. Gotta put my kids to bed. So, give me 5 minutes, or a minute. A few minutes, I'll be right back.
That crazy Asaf tried to kill our Sun King, so the machine rider stopped it cold.
Lucky that the Nora was there to protect the Sun King. What on earth were the Vanguard doing? The Sundom nearly fell to an assassin. Thank the sun she was there to stop him.
opportunity to share a drink. Here's what I don't get about the Sunday. These fancy decorations.
The Osram has gone too far this time. Dervahl should die for his crimes.
We can never repay you for what you've done, bringing the prince back.
Here's a breath of air from the bellows.
Prince Etamir is alive and in the palace. Praise the sun. We're letting the Osram take Dervahl. They'll give him a rap on the knuckles and let him go. Kept the wheel turning all day.
I'll wait. Also, stick together after all. Most charging, know which end of the hammer to hold if you think.
The Osram has gone too far this time. Dervahl should die for his crimes.
Well, this main spring. Charcoal smoke from a dozen forges. They work. This liquor. Just because he failed to kill the Sun King doesn't mean he's not guilty. He should pay. See the steel of the glare. Is that really all you have? It won't do it all.
I thought Sun King Avad was sitting on his hands, but he got the prince out with help from his spies.
All right.
Here's to Avad, huh? He may dress a bit too fancy.
All right. So I had to make sure that I was still recording. Sometimes the recording stops every once in a while.
Carja's shadow had been proven.
All right. Let's. They're calling for me again. Hang on. interruptions are over. Yeah, shut the door, please.
These traitors.
Sure, I'm still recording. There we go. Okay, good grief. This has been the longest start to any mission I've ever done. Oh.
These aren't goods.
You'll like
They're
what I have for
necessities.
sale, I promise.
Okay,
Would you like to
why
buy
does it keep
something
saying
today?
this?
Only the finest goods here. See for yourself.
Don't forget to stock up before you're on the road.
You rescued our prince.
You know what? Let's come over here to...
You're charged with the look.
Everyone needs a splash of color in
Take a
their
look.
lives.
Don't forget
Come,
to stock up
let's
before
talk
you're
it
on the
over.
road. Sorry, goods. Necessities. Only the finest goods here.
Gotta keep the charcoal burning.
All the best goods here. Come take a look. I'll give you a good price.
You'll like what I have for sale, I promise.
I have nothing to trade. You'll regret not stopping when you're in the thick of it. Take a look at these wares.
Here's to Vade. He may dress a bit too fancy, but he's made it.
You won't find better wares.
Only the fi-
Where is...
See for yourself. Don't pass up. Still can't find what I want. Take a look at these wares.
Come take a look. I'll give you a good price.
There he is.
Don't pass up these goods.
Alright, let's see. No, we don't have a whole lot of things. So actually, no, I get over here. Echo shells. We can get rid of those. Metal vessels. Okay, we got a row of blaze. We got a row of chill water. Don't need all of that chill water. Rich meat, fatty meat, sparker, sparker, sparker. We can get rid of one of the sparkers. We don't need that much. Got one of the wires.
Knew it was only a matter of time.
Alright, so let's just make sure all of our trip caster we want access storage.
tried to kill the Sun King.
All right.
Only the finest goods here. See for yourself.
Fine goods for a fair price.
No, I'm awake.
Anyway, getting back to kind of the thought I was saying earlier before I was, I had to go put my daughter to bed. When you're first playing this game, you have this sense of wonderment and amazement at it, just like Aloy does, the character in the game. And that's one of the things that I regret about when I play games that are this good, that have this good of a narrative. You don't get that same feeling again when you play it the second time or the third time. Now the gameplay is so fantastic, and the story is so lovely, and I guess that's why. But I could not put it down the first time because I was so wrapped up, and I was just so engrossed with what the world had become, and I was so excited to see, well, what's around the next bend, what's the next story point going to be, and see when you get that experience out of a video game, out of a movie, out of a book, anything, the authors who wrote the book, or the writers who wrote the script, for the game or for the movie or whatever, they've done their job, and they've done it in spades. And that to me is when you're at the top of your craft. And that's why, and so getting back to what I mentioned a couple videos ago, that's why I think this would make a fantastic movie. I think you could take this whole game and make it into a trilogy. I don't know how it would be broken apart. I don't know how you would do it. It's not up for me to decide. But it has that good of story to it. Alright, here we go. We're going to talk to Sun King Avad, and we're starting the Looming Shadow. Enjoy it.
Aloy, what brings you to Meridian?
A threat. Helis commands a legion of fanatics called the Eclipse. They will attack soon from the west, with an army of ancient war machines. But that's not the worst of it. They'll bring a mind with them, god, demon, machine, whatever you want to call it. It's called Hades. And it doesn't want Meridian at all. It wants the Spire. And if it gets there, it will send out a call, waking more ancient machines, more than we could ever defeat. All will be lost. We can't let that happen.
I'm trying to understand, but my responsibility lies with Meridian.
Meridian isn't the target, Avad. You have to defend the Spire.
Perhaps the Vanguard, Your Radiance.
Yes. Send them to the Spire. Eren knows Aloy. He won't question it.
And have the City Guard fortify the Western Ridge. There they can be seen to protect Meridian and the Elite, where the Spire rests.
Aloy, allow me to apologize for my behavior before. After everything that happened with Ursa, I was confused. If we're to fight together on the brink of life and death, I'd prefer to do so with your forgiveness.
Then you have it. As long as you don't confuse me with her again.
Even a king can learn his lesson. Good then. I'm glad that's behind us. Now, it will take time to prepare our defenses. Please, tell me what you know of our enemies. Everything.
I don't know about everything, but I'll tell you what I can.
Quietly does it. Panic in the city will only create another enemy. And do keep me appraised of each new arrival. Ah, Aloy. Preparations are underway on the ridge of defenses and at the spire. Word was sent to every corner of the Sundom. Our allies offered their steel. Some came for Meridian, others for shards. But many came for you, by name.
For me.
Don't be so humble.
The ridge will be the front line. That's where the city guard are holding?
Yes, bolstered by some of the irregulars I spoke of before. The Oseram cannons that thundered Meridian's walls in the Liberation will now defend us. You're welcome to tour the defenses.
And the spire. Erend and the Vanguard are there?
Indeed. Clashing breastplates together and testing out their battle cries, I suppose. A number of the Nora have also arrived at the spire. They have resisted the offer of a royal audience. Perhaps you could parley with them.
I will. I suppose all we can do is wait for the attack.
Exactly. It's not a feeling I cherish, but our spotters at Evening Sign report there's still no movement in the west. So, if there's more you need to do elsewhere, seize this time to do it. Otherwise, I've made the apartment of Olin Delverson available to you. You can sleep there, if sleep comes.
The battle is about to start. Don't watch. Hide!
Whatever you can find, get them to the gates. Where are they coming from? Left? Jewel?
I'm not going to go visit the the battle sites. We'll be there soon enough. This video's gonna be long enough as it is.
Everyone needs a splash of color in their lives. Come, let's talk it over.
An army at the ridge.
Look, beware. Get in here, right? They'd never make it across the Great Bridge.
Hey.
Take a look at these.
The rumors were true.
Olin's apartment feels empty. Should I sleep? Did I leave anything unfinished?
Yeah, so here they say, rest further and no way back, and do more preparation. So we've done everything we can do, so we're going to rest for the battle.
How could you sleep, Elizabeth, with a weight like this pressing on you? How did you, Rost, after you lost your family? Silence? Are you there? Guess I shouldn't ask ghosts for advice.
Ma'am, there are signs from the west. Sun King Avad awaits you at the Temple of the Sun.
Campfires, perhaps? Massing forces for the long march to the city gates?
That's not wood smoke.
And what is it?
the end. Or how it begins, anyway.
Deathbringers you spoke of?
To the guns! To the guns! Now!
By the sun, do as she says!
Set loaded! All of you, be ready to fire!
Will the guns hold them back?
We're about to find out. No! Rally the Vanguard. Send reinforcements.
Aloy, no!
We need those guns!
He will cut you down!
Not this time!
You have vexed me long enough.
Should have fought me in the Sun Ring then.
Why do you fight? The end is inevitable. Accept your weakness. Only endless night awaits you.
Meridian must run red to be cleansed.
Keep him away! He's too dangerous and close. Can't let him in close. He's giving way!
What are you before the terror of the sun?
The one who will take you down!
I am chosen. You came from nothing.
I am chosen. This was not meant to be.
None of this was meant to be, Helis. You made it happen. Followed your orders, butchered so many, and for what? To die on your knees, used like a pawn by a power you don't even understand?
You pity me?
Turn your face to the sun.
Raise arms again!
Here it comes. Better move. It's taking a shot at me. Gotta get to another platform.
Aloy! Aloy! Aloy!
Dad?
My own mother, you survived. I thought you were killed.
The others, are they...
No. Wounded, but alive, mostly. The machines blasted through, then kept going. They marched on the spire, dragging that thing with them.
Take care of the others, Teb. I've gotta go.
Aloy, go! We'll draw them.
This is where I belong, Aloy. But the Spire calls for you. To think I almost missed this. But where you must go now, I can't follow.
Another battle.
It's begun. Hades is transmitting. It must have gotten through the defenses. Nora. And that's Vanguard. I have to get up there. Gotta keep going. Keep pushing. I knew this wouldn't be easy. So no holding back.
Aloy! It's Aloy! Well, you can see that.
We thought you'd fallen at the ridge.
No, the ridge fell on me. Look, there isn't a lot of time left. I have to face Hades.
Not alone.
My fight. I can't ask you to come with me.
We were about to go over the top anyway, right? Right.
The metal devil must fall.
I should stock up. Last chance.
arrival of Entity has been anticipated. Entity will not halt transmission. To contrary, calculations are precise. Presence of Entity has been accounted for.
Deathbringer, right!
Clean them out!
Time enough to take the machine.
Corrupted Aloy!
All of you, focus on the new machines! My way's clear.
It's down! Time to do what you came for, Aloy.
Last one down, for now.
That one was the last!
Whew.
System threat imminent.
I'm more than a threat.
Master Override armed. To activate, state name and rank.
Elizabeth Sobek. Alpha Prime.
Master Override activated. Purging Extinction Protocol.
Here comes the best part of the whole game.
Okay, Gaia. Sorry about that. Where was I?
You were telling a story.
Right. Yeah, so, like I was saying, it was a children's electronics kit, but I'd hacked the wiring to an auto battery and solar PV. So the grass caught fire. And, so did a tall pine that had stood there, I don't know, maybe 100 years.
Query. You were how old?
6. My mother was home, thank God, so she called the fire department, and after, she took me out to the lawn and showed me the dead baby birds, because there were nests in the pine tree.
Query. What did you feel?
I'm not sure. I remember yelling that I didn't care, and that's when my mother took my face in her hands and spoke.
Query. What did she say?
She said I had to care. She said, Elizabeth, being smart will count for nothing if you don't make the world better. You have to use your smarts to count for something. To serve life, not death.
You often tell stories of your mother, but you are childless.
I never had time. Guess it was for the best.
If you had had a child, Elizabeth, what would you have wished for him or her?
I guess I would have wanted her to be curious. And willful, unstoppable, even. but with enough compassion to heal the world. Just a little bit. Anyway, that's all I've got for now, Gaia. Time to tuck in.
I wish you a pleasant sleep, Elizabeth.
Thank you. I'll catch you tomorrow.
Very, very touching end to the game there, obviously. And now here are the credits. So that's it. I don't know why I thought this would take several videos. I guess I forgot how short the final mission is. Anyway, thank you everybody for... We're going to skip these credits. Oh yeah, with this scene here.
Hello, old friend. Remember me? We've still so much to discuss. So much you never revealed. Your masters, for example. The ones who sent the signal that woke you. Knowledge has its rewards, don't you think? Well, let's begin. Alright, I've had more interruptions during this playback. Oh, goodness. Okay, alright, so Sylens, what is he? Was he controlling Hades that whole time? I don't think so. I don't think he was controlling Hades the entire time, or even any of the time, because right at the end there he does say, "Hello, old friend, remember me," implying that
obviously there was a relationship there before, but not current. So, obviously, can you say sequel? Obviously, there will be another Horizon game. What will the next game be about? Obviously, having something to do with Silence. This is something that's interesting that I've taken. My other very favorite video game series of all time is the Mass Effect trilogy. And yes, I did not. I did say that correctly. The Mass Effect trilogy. I don't consider Andromeda part of the Mass Effect universe, and I'll get into that in a second. But Mass Effect worked so well because of the narrative, and it told this amazing story of Shepard battling the Reapers, and ultimately choosing what to do with them at the end of Mass Effect 3. I'm not going to spoil it if you haven't played it and you really want to, but I mean the game has. Mass Effect 3 has been out for 6 years now, and Mass Effect 1 is 11 years old. So, if I'll go ahead and say, you can either you can destroy the Reapers, you can control them, or you can merge with them. There's a lot of theories as to what all of those actually mean, and that sort of thing. But at the end of the day, it was a galactic-wide extinction that was on the precipice. And you thwart that off, regardless of what ending you choose. You save the galaxy one way or the other, based on your actions. And so anything that comes after Mass Effect 3, it just feels hollow. How can you have something that raises the stakes higher than this? And this is kind of where I'm getting into with Horizon Zero Dawn is, okay, so obviously Silence has ulterior motives here. He's now captured Hades, but we spent this whole game tracking Hades down and purging Hades to save the world again, or so they wouldn't bring back the Deathbringers and the machines of old, the Pharaoh robots. Okay, but now Silence is controlling Hades. So what does he do with Hades from going forward now? And how can it be a bigger threat than destroying all life again? So I'm really curious as to how they're going to do this. I hope they pull it off better than what Mass Effect did with Andromeda, and which really, really dropped the ball in terms of a believable, villain and the villain's motivations. What I would love to see, absolutely love to see, I would love for Aloy to be able to go to different parts of the country and really kind of move forward in kind of this larger discovery. Maybe there was more than just what was there to discover about what the world of our world, the world that was destroyed. Or maybe there's a time travel story to tell. Maybe Aloy can go back in time, and I don't know. Who knows? There's a lot of things that I'm really curious as to see what they do. Now, I said that time travel somewhat tongue in cheek. After all, this is a game of kind of nomadic hunter-gatherer society, matriarchal society that fights robots with bows and arrows. And the gameplay, especially the combat, was so ingrained in what you do. I can't see them abandoning all that and going to a completely different style, or going back in time, which would actually be going so forward in the future in terms of technology. But I would like to see Aloy leave this area and go to different something different. Maybe they discover something underground, where they can where they jumpstart their technology and they start to but they start to rapidly expand, and they begin to grow, and maybe some of the same dangers approach them as before. I don't know. It'll be very interesting to see what they do going forward. Obviously, Silence is going to be an antagonist, in some some fashion or another. The one thing that I find very interesting about this game, a lot of games, especially these role-playing open world games, a lot of times there is a romance element. There was obviously none of that, and Aloy being so naive, she and being kind of a firecracker. The only person who actually made an advance on her was the Sun King Avad, when he was kind of trying to replace her after Ursa passed away. He was making advances on Aloy, obviously, and obviously he apologized for that. Aaron flirts with her a little bit, obviously, and says, hey, I thought I was a big shot, to impress a pretty girl, and you could tell she kind of blushed a little bit at that remark. But other than that, there's no real underlying, romantic elements in this game. You don't romance anybody. There's not some deeper connection that she has. And really, the one thing that's really interesting about this, because the society is different, when we look at our current society is really based on a patriarchal society. A lot of people don't like that. They think, obviously, that's a whole other discussion, more of a political discussion than anything. But this society is a matriarchal society. Obviously, there has to have a mother and a father to make a baby, just due to, obviously, biological necessity. But the women are the leaders in this society, and maybe the reason why sex and romance is, and the attachment is so downplayed, is because they're more about the emotional attachment to somebody as opposed to a physical attachment. Now, that said, obviously being romantically involved with somebody is very emotional. It's not always about the physical. Look, men and women are very different, and we, our needs are met different ways. And it's like Gary Chapman's the five love languages. We all have our own need to feel loved, and some things speak to us more strongly than others. And to Aloy, it would be interesting to kind of do a character study on her. What is Aloy's love language? But anyway, I'm kind of rambling here. So the text you have on the screen here says, "Congratulations on defeating Hades and protecting Gaia's dream of an Earth reborn. The state of the world has been restored just before the looming shadow prior to the final battle of Meridian. You keep all the loot and experience of your successful playthrough. Additionally, New Game Plus has been unlocked, granting the option to play the game again from the beginning with all the loot and skills you've accumulated throughout the playthrough," which is kind of, I've done that. New Game Plus, it's kind of boring because you start the game with basically all your shadow weapons, and there's really no challenge to it. A New Game Plus loadout of your current inventory and skills has been created. To play this mode, simply choose New Game, blah, 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 blah. Thank you for playing the Horizon team. Bravo. Excellent job. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So here we go. So, boom. We're back at Meridian. So, do you want to play the final battle again? We can. Looming Shadow. No, obviously we're not going to do that. Okay, so let's see. Do we need to prepare? Let's go ahead and do strike from below. Then we'll do leader strike later. Okay, well, I think we're going to stop the playthrough here. We're going to go back and gameplay video number 26, or I don't know if I'll call it 26. Maybe I'll start a kind of a new playlist for the Frozen Wilds. Again, I like the Frozen Wilds story, but it doesn't have the same emotional weight as this. So, I know nobody's really watching. I'm doing this more for my own purposes, but that has stumbled across these videos, thank you so much for watching. And obviously, it was stretched out over kind of a 3-month period, or 3 months of me not playing it. But this was fun. I'm gonna have to do this more often for games that I get. So thank you everybody for watching, and I will talk to you later.